Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
Let's go to the phones here. Rick in Ohio. Hello, Rick.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hey, we got, hey, John?
Yes.
We got less than 2 weeks away before the next round of In the Fed rallies takes place nationwide.
Okay.
July 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we're going to have them all across the country. Everybody needs to go to inthefed.us and find a location near them and get out there and participate in one of the In the Fed rallies. It'll be a good activity. If you want to see some YouTubes on it, just go to YouTube and type in, like, In the Fed Cleveland. There's several really good videos of some good demonstrations there. For those who don't have an understanding of it yet, check out the website, inthefed.us. And we're going to raise some more hell with them. We're raising public awareness on this issue. Ron Paul now has over the 218 co-sponsors to H.R. 1207, which will expose the Federal Reserve criminal syndicate to the American people.
All right. Appreciate
Okay, I'll
it.
let you go,
258 sponsors.
258 so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is an automatic pass. And I think the Senate might go for it as well. And we may have an investigation, an auditing of the Federal Reserve, which will turn up all sorts of terrible things. And
but Bob, can I interject? I mean, right now, what we are dealing with is the Obama administration giving more power to the Fed.
Well, if the Fed isn't there anymore, it doesn't make any difference.
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well,
and I don't think that that's going to pass in the House. I mean, look at the co-sponsorship. I mean, it's just not going to happen. The Fed is eventually going to be done away with here. The only thing that could stop it is a veto by the president that couldn't be overridden. Now, that's a possibility. But do you realize how many people that this gentleman who called in and thousands like him, how many people that they let know who has been doing what to them and why their economy is the way it is, how they've been looting the economy? I mean, the educational process, because of the Internet and shows like this, is tremendous. The impact is overwhelming. The Fed is the nucleus of control for the Illuminati in the United States, just like the Bank of England is in Britain. And so, you know, even if we were to lose, we're giant winners. And it's no wonder at the Bilderberger meeting 3 weeks ago that they said, the top item, this thing's out of control. We've got to button this up. We've got to stop it. We got to keep ourselves protected. Well, I got news for them. It's too late, Bubba. It's over. You're going to get exposed for what you've done over the last 96 years.
well, even Ron Paul, I mean, if he's got 258 signers on this to audit the Fed, Ron Paul just recently said, and I'm quoting him, he said, from their spending habits, and he's talking about Obama's goal is total economic collapse. From their spending habits, an economic collapse seems to be the goal of Congress and this administration. So, you know, by the way, story just came out less than an hour ago. Guess who else is calling? And you're going to find this funny, I guess you could say. Put it in the funny category. The ousted Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi's son, that was the Shah of Iran's last name, Pahlavi, urged Israel to support post-election riots in Iran to bring down the government of Tehran. So there you have the CIA installed asset, the Shah of Iran's son, coming out today as well, saying, yes, we should nation build and install democracy, put McDonald's and XXX movie theaters on their streets. They're going to be really happy with us. Rick, thanks for your call.
You know, I'll tell you something. For him to have done that is like a beacon of stupidity. I mean, they're losing it.
I know.
I mean, they've all lost their Goebbels medals.
Heil.
Well, they're a bunch of Nazis. That's what they are.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, call them what they are. They're corporatist fascists. I mean, it's written all over them. The game's over. They got an ex-Marxist Muslim in there named Barry Soetoro. I mean, he's not going to last too long. They'll jettison him when they want to. Then you get Joe Biden. That ought to be fun.
Oh, God.
Mr. Personality without a brain.
It seems there's more than enough talk right now that it looks like Ben Bernanke's on his way out and Lawrence Summers is on his way in to head up the Fed.
That would be a
Well,
record.
that's good because he can preside over its extinction.
Bernanke probably wants the heck out of there.
I don't blame him. He inherited a can of worms from that duplicitous puke that was in there before him, who sold out.
How do you really feel, Bob?
Well, I sharpen my bayonet every night.
By the way, I just looked at silver stockpiles. You don't see this too often. Silver stockpiles today reported down 999,000 ounces.
Big.
To sit at 117,000 million ounces, which is, Bob, as you know, they normally warehouse COMEX stocks usually sit at around 130 million ounces. So
That's right.
there's been a lot of physical. That's just maybe that's why the premiums on coins are coming down.
Well,
I don't know, but I tell you, COMEX is in trouble. They had to receive gold in on their last large settlement from the European Central Bank in behalf of Deutsche Bank, who was short. And the contracts that look to be up for delivery are probably around 26% of available gold, or what they say is available. I mean, you can't tell because all their figures of COMEX are bogus.
Yes.
And I just looked at the ETF figures for GLD. They haven't had a change in 11 days. I was in the market for almost 50 years. I was a professional for 28 years, owned my own firm. Do they really expect me to believe that the amount of gold that they have is unchanged for 11 days in a row? Come on.
well,
They're lying.
Well, of course they are. I mean, look, when you start to see stories, Bob and Robbie, that the Germans are now putting gold vending machines. That's right. You can buy little mini bars of gold from a vending machine in the airports and public utility places in
And the Bahnhofs.
in Germany, for gosh sake. I was in those Bahnhofs in Germany, and to see a machine sitting there, and it's all computerized, so, people were wondering, gosh, it isn't like a case of soda that you bought last week at one price. What if it's different today? These things are constantly updated by computer, and people in Germany, it's such a hot item there that they're putting in vending machines, for gosh sakes. So all this stuff, Bob, about gold. Gosh, gold. It looks like its run is over. It's only trading at 923 or 926. Remember when they were saying this at 550? Remember when it crept up to 7? I mean, this is totally ludicrous. They have been sitting on it, manipulating it, trying to hold it down, and they're not going to be able to continue to do that. I mean,
And they allow you to buy gold cheap. It's a chance of a lifetime.
It doesn't get any
Every
better than
cent I have is in gold and silver.
this.
All the time. I wouldn't have it anyplace else. And that's what you all should be doing. And when you people look at the market every day to look at your coins or your shares, don't do that. You're long-term investors.
No.
When a stock goes from 60 to 50, don't freak out. It's going to happen. And then when it goes from 50 to 60, you don't think about it. Leave it alone. when it comes time to sell, if you're subscribers to the International Forecaster, or if you listen to this broadcast, you'll know when to get out. Because we'll know when to get out.
Yeah, you know what?
If that ever comes.
You know what was funny yesterday, Bob? I don't know if you noticed, because I know you don't watch it, but I do. All the miners were down anywhere from 5 to 9% yesterday. Coeur d'Alene was up 5%.